The Navy is now working with FBI hostage negotiators to free Captain Richard Phillips of the Maersk, Alabama. But if talks fail, what are the military options available to them? Do they mount a rescue mission, take on the pirates? We'll talk to an expert on high seas security next. FBI negotiators out of Quantico are now dealing with the situation as well, trying to negotiate with those pirates in order to get the safe rescue and turning over of Captain Richard Phillips. Now, let's listen to Joseph Murphy, who is the father of the second in command of the Maersk, Alabama, talking about his son, Shane Murphy. Let's listen.
I just got a call from Maersk Limited. They've been wonderful with the families. They set up a hotline. They've called us directly. They notified me that the Shane has been directed as captain of the ship to take the ship to Mombasa, Kenya. They've placed a 18-man armed guard force on board for the protection of the crew and the ship. And when they get alongside, they're going to change out the crew, which is, we just think it's fabulous. Our son's coming home.
And so where do things stand right now? The ongoing standoff with the Somali pirates is proving extra difficult for the U.S. Navy, as you can imagine. As we just told you, FBI negotiators are now working with the Navy to come up with a plan. Their focus is to free Captain Phillips without putting him in harm's way. But U.S. legal authority is limited in international waters, even when Americans are being held hostage. So what options does the military have? Let's ask Captain Raymond Brown, former Chief of Intelligence Analysis for the U.S. Coast Guard and U.S. Navy Surface Warfare Officer. Captain, thank you for joining us. This is a very difficult situation because you're in international waters. The negotiators are over here on the East Coast in Quantico, the FBI, working through the USS Bainbridge to negotiate with these pirates. Tell me what you imagine is going on right now, sir.
Well, a very difficult situation. First of all, I'd like to say hats off to Captain Phillips, who was willing to give up his own life, but not willing to give up his ship's company. So he was everything a captain's supposed to be. A most difficult situation. USS Bainbridge has tremendous power, but power to do what at this moment in this situation? Under international law, the interdictional principles of the United States law of the sea, or the United Nations law of the sea, they can engage these pirates because they were caught in the act. However, we do want to save Captain Phillips' life. And you're dealing with, no doubt, some very hardy Somali pirates who are also themselves feeling fatigue, exposure, and their judgment may not be the best at this juncture.
Well, Captain, what kind of scenario can likely unfold? What kind of way can they get to Captain Phillips, getting him from that, freed from those pirates who were on aboard that lifeboat?
The FBI negotiators, in company with USS Bainbridge, will have to establish a relationship with the pirates, communicate with them frequently, try to make them feel like they're being dealt with fairly, and hope that the pirates' desire for survival becomes preeminent, as opposed to hoping to get the ransom, hoping to get the fuel on board so that they can proceed inshore. And that's going to be very, very tough.
As you know, exactly, very tough, because these pirates are accustomed to getting anywhere from $2 to $3 million each time they take on a hostage situation, and they negotiate for getting that kind of money, making upwards of anywhere from $30 to $150 million in the past year alone. So having said that, do you think these pirates are desperate enough to do something foolish?
The question will be, they may get desperate enough to do something foolish, and I hesitate to remind us all that in 2008, 2 hostage merchant seamen actually were killed by Somali pirates. They may go that route. Perhaps they can be led to believe that they are being dealt with fairly enough that their instincts for survival will overtake their desire for money, and Captain Phillips will be allowed the homecoming he so richly deserves.
Exactly, and one could only think, sir, that when you're looking down at the barrel of a USS Navy destroyer, such as the Bainbridge, which is quite capable of taking them out, it would seem that these pirates would be fearful enough and love their lives enough to say, well, you know, let's give up the captain and go on our merry way.
Well, exactly right. These guys are in the business of money. They're not in the business of martyrdom. We just hope that their judgment does not get impaired enough and their desperation doesn't become such that they opt for foolishness rather than their own survival, which they could achieve if they give up the captain.
Captain, we thank you for joining us and shedding some light on what possibly could be unfolding. Of course, we know that the FBI and the USS Navy is in the business of protecting the lives of U.S. citizens, and that is exactly what they are trying to do right now off the coast of Somalia. Thank you, sir.
Yes, God bless them all.
That's for sure. We'll continue to watch that for you.